Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 249. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else a gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for broadcasts for shooters, hunters, and all things firearms related. In this show, we'll be discussing a new pistol from Nemo Arms, M-rax, and Tony's favorite knife maker. Tonight on the podcast, we have Tony and Zane, and I'm sure they're both muted, so I don't know who's going to talk about what they did in firearms.
I'll go because I didn't do anything except for I carried a revolver one day and did not, in fact, end up killed in the streets.
I saw that picture, and it was actually kind of scary.
Yeah. I was worried. The internet says you get killed in the streets if you don't carry a full-size gun everywhere.
Man, I don't carry a full-size gun everywhere, and I haven't got killed in the streets.
I don't carry a gun anywhere outside of my home. And,
that's true, because Jersey hates you.
Yeah, that's right. And if I did, I would be killed in the streets by the cops in the streets. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. I've been there, done that.
That's right.
You just get real nervous when you carry with no permit if you're a law-abiding person, because all of a sudden you're not a law-abiding person anymore.
Yeah, that can get kind of scary. So what'd you do, Tony?
All right, did I tell you about me shooting the competition for the Military Arms Collectors Club?
You did not.
I shot in the competition for the Military Arms Collectors Club. Great story, bro. No,
yeah, I was going to say, okay, Tony's done. Mute.
That was for the Military Arms Collectors Club up in Shotgun, which is a range up here in, I think, Western Jersey. Anyway, it was a fun time, a bunch of old guns. Thought I was going to kick butt and win because I have my SKS still in the Matador Arms saber-tooth chassis with an optic. It kind of fell under designated marksmanship. That's what you could do using an optic-equipped Soviet era. All of it was commie Soviet weapons, that kind of thing. So Chinese, all of that stuff from Warsaw Pact. So I shot my SKS with an optic. I figured I'd win it. I had the Bushnell PRS 25 on it. I didn't zero it before I got to the range. I just put it on top. So I had to zero it at a competition,
Tony,
which was relatively fast. So that's not, I did everything wrong. So I zeroed it at the competition, more or less, and shot it. And there was only one other guy with a scoped SKS. And I was like, all right, maybe I beat Grandpa over in the corner. So I asked him how did his things go? And he's like, oh, I couldn't keep zero, so I didn't even turn in a target. I was like, yes, I got this, baby. Tony's leaving here with at least one trophy. I didn't pay attention to the dude next to me with the friggin' PSL, almost, the Hungarian version of a Dragunov. Yeah, he wiped the floor with me because he had an actual sniper's rifle shooting at the target at 100 yards with 7.62 by 54R. So, yeah, I did not win. But cool story. But I did get to shoot the pistol competition with the CZ75 at 50 yards against a bunch of other people with communist weapons, and I figured I'd nail that one. And then they made me aware that the CZ75 was not issued to a communist nation, so it didn't fall into the qualification. So I didn't win that one either, but I did outshoot everybody on the line.
So what you're saying is because you won, they disqualified you.
Nah, he told me going into it that I wasn't going to do it, so just go have fun with my gun. And then we had, of course, the Minuteman Challenge Sunday, where Jesse Stratowski actually won both poker chips by being the fastest dude to run that bolt action against other people running mechanical guns and the most accurate guy. So that was pretty fun. That was the last diversity shoot open to the public. I mean, not diversity shoot. That was the last Minuteman Challenge open to the public. The next one is November 4th, and it's only for winners of this year's events. So that's what I did.
Sweet. Well, I guess you're the only one that actually did anything, because I did not. I worked some overtime, so that's pretty much the extent of what I did.
Overtime, ammo money.
Yeah, hopefully Vegas money to SHOT Show.
Oh yeah, I forgot you go to that.
Well, with $100 flights round trip, you can't pass it up too much.
Oh, I ain't mad at you.
So I guess we'll get into the announcements. Episode 250, our listener question show. So send in your questions. We have gotten quite a few, actually, so I appreciate it. There will not be a show next week. So episode 250 will be on November 6th live. And Tony says he's going to make it, even though he's working the polls. So that is when that is. I have stuff going on next Tuesday, so I figured make it easy that way. So since we're on that, make sure and vote in your election. That's about as far as politics I'm going to get into. Bandwidth sponsor is our buddies at Patriot Patch Co. Sign up for Patch of the Month Club. They do have still those World War II pre-order patches. The next patch of the month is two of them. There's a pumpkin, and then there's something like a turkey flying a fighter plane or something like that. They look pretty sweet too. If you're wanting some AR-15 parts, you can use our GunTech USA affiliate link. We'd appreciate it, and if you're shopping Amazon, use our Amazon affiliate link at firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. And if you want to donate stuff from Black Bag Resources to Tony's Diversity Shoot, you can use the code 2A4E there, and anything in your cart will be given to the Diversity Shoot. And now it is time for Tony to read a disclaimer.
Yep. All right. Here we go. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-hosts and do not reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employees. Viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows. Eat it, Rob!
And the thing is we're pretty much back to our usual no slingshots, so it's probably going to be a normal, safe show.
We slingshots that are shaped. No, never mind.
Yeah.
You can go back in our post history of podcasts and find that one if you want. What was it, episode 246 or something? I don't know.
Something like that.
Somewhere
I don't know. They just did, I think, a giveaway of one of their pizza cutters, and I was sad I didn't win it.
Oh
yeah.
That kind of sucks. We do not have a product review or updates tonight, so it is just spotlight and discussion time. First up is the Nemo Arms Monarch MK 9mm 5 STB-B pistol. Yeah, that's a lot, but they make a few other models too, but they're all similar. MSRP is not released yet. From what the recoil article said, it said somewhere from 800 to 1200, depending on options.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's been updated because I think it's between $1,000 and $12,000.
Yeah, but that's where it sits from their website so far. Yeah. What this is they designed a new pistol. Nobody's sure exactly what magazines it uses. Nobody is sure if there's magazine compatibility, but we'll discuss it. 9mm, as you could probably guess. It does have a barrel length of 5 inches. It is striker fired. It weighs 31.5 ounces. So it is not a lightweight pistol. It has suppressor sights and threaded barrel on this particular version. It does use a stainless steel slide. Your standard ambi slide catch. Magazine release is reversible. It comes with a mini red dot adapter plate. There are other models that come with a sight on it. The barrel is stainless with a DLC coating. Here's the thing that interests me. It says it is a single action billet trigger. So it's an aluminum trigger, but it's single action with drop safety, trigger bar and over travel adjustment. It does have an aluminum frame with checkering, and it looks like grip panels of some sort. It does have fore and aft cocking serrations. Let's see if I missed anything here.
It's got an undercut on the trigger guard.
It does have a decent. No, I did not. Decent undercut. Says it has a flared magwell. It has a lanyard mount because everybody needs one of those. It does have a Picatinny rail at the front. You can get.
It's also got like little scallops on the flared magwell for rip and stuck mags.
Right, in case your mag's stuck. Yes. Good notice there, Zane.
Well, I cut those into my Glocks with a Dremel. So
right.
I like to see those.
It says you can get 10, 15, 18, 20, and 32 round magazine options. I'm guessing, hypothetically, it probably comes with a 15 and 18. Those are probably pretty standard. Or it's an 18 and the 10 and 15 are for states like Colorado and New Jersey. And
it looks like a full-size gun, so I'm going to guess 18.
18. That's what I would guess, too.
And the 15 and 10 are, like you say, for restrictive states.
Right. I don't know. It's kind of looks like somebody took like an M&P and crossed it with like a SIG 226 and something else.
It's interesting.
It is interesting. I would really like to see one of these when they get on the market, and I'd really like to shoot one to see, because 9mm and that heavy of a gun, it's got to be just like shooting a 22 practically.
Well, the other thing is, a lot of companies have tried to make, like, for example, Glock frames out of aluminum to put the slide and everything on. It's never really worked too well, so I'm hoping they figured out how to, the flex and all that stuff, how to make it run reliably, which we've been building pistol frames out of aluminum for many years, but it's not nearly as prevalent in the striker world. At first glance you see $1,000, you're like, that's expensive for a pistol, but when you look at what it all comes with, it's really not. If you did that to your M&P or your Glock or your FN or whatever, you're going to spend well more than that on what this comes with.
Right, and that's the thing is, it looks decent. It's not like it's a bad looking pistol either. Like I said, I'd really like to try it out. I'm more curious about the trigger than anything, because
I wonder if they truly if they mean a truly single action, or if it's more like the Glock trigger, which is staged partially cocked but not
right, or like an XD is considered a single action also,
but the XD has that external grip safety on it.
If you're doing this and you don't have it at full cock to this point, with Walther PPQ out there, there's full cock striker fire.
The Walther is full cocked, isn't it?
Yep, much better. All right, now let me go ahead and say, there's nothing new under the sun. Glock came out with their polymer striker fired pistol and it set the world on fire. The U.S. came out with the High Point first, stumbled along by the Sigma later, and then they finally kind of sort of figured it out by putting out the what is it? What's the name of the Springfield Armory XD? But before that, it was the something 2000.
The Croatian HK 2000 or HS 2000.
Yeah, HS 2000. So it took a while for everybody to catch on to figure out how to make polymer pistols. And what happens around 2008? Robar starts putting out metal frames for Glocks.
Yep.
and Robar was one of the first ones. And then every couple of years, someone else puts out a metal frame striker fired pistol that uses Glock parts. This whole thing didn't mention the word Glock in it, but I mean, when you think about it, it kind of looks like a 509 from FN.
It does look. It does a little bit.
It has a high. It looks like it comes with suppressor sights already.
It does,
and it comes with a threaded barrel. I'm looking at the options that it has, and it's firing on all cylinders from everything that every tactical internet Timmy wants on his gun, that he's never going to carry because it's 30-something ounces.
That's what I was going to say. I wish this was polymer framed to save a little bit of weight.
If this was polymer framed, you wouldn't care about it. It wouldn't even make anything. Or it might. I look at it this way. This is another full-size duty-like pistol, and it might be the most awesome thing ever, but it has a lot to overcome.
Yeah.
I think the price is right if it's in the $1,200 range with everything that comes on it. That's pretty awesome. But what makes me want to buy this and not want to buy something from CZ? What makes me want to buy this and not something from Beretta? You know what I mean? So why would I spend over $1,000 on a company that I have no idea whether they're going to have something
the other
worth
thing
buying
is I'm going to say this, or like a SIG Legion 226, a single action only trigger.
Well,
I mean,
so
yeah,
the
it's
company
hammer
itself,
fired,
though, the company itself has pretty good track record on their rifles.
Yes, they do.
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean their pistols are going to be worth a damn. But
Yeah.
I mean, you know, full fairness, but I've not heard much bad about their rifles.
Yeah,
and they've
I got
some
a question
pretty
for you.
interesting rifles. Yeah,
I got a question for you. Have you heard of the Armor Light handguns?
no.
Exactly. So, I mean, Armor Light ARs, you know, they have a track record. They made a pistol that you've never heard of. So,
didn't work out so well.
It didn't work out so good.
I'm just looking at. I really, really like the magwell for one. It's flared. It has those little scallops on the side. It's set up almost exactly how I like a magwell. Just a little flare. I don't like huge, you know, magwells, but just a little bit of something. I love the undercut on that trigger guard.
They did a nice job there.
It's very nice looking, and it looks to be very functional. Obviously, I think forward cocking serrations are, at this point, if you're not putting them on your gun, I think you're wrong. You know, I think, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not a big fan of lightning cuts. I noticed some of the slides have like windows cut in them. Right. And I don't care for that. I don't care one way or the other, I guess. I mean, you got your pick rail, you got your. I don't know. I like it.
Yeah, it's got everything that, like you said, everything anybody would add to something.
It has all the Ball Ninja greatness.
If it works, I think
awesome.
And at that price point, I think it'll sell really well, as long as it, like you said, works, because their rifles are not in that price range.
Right.
Not at all.
The only thing I want to find out about is whose magazines does it use, compatibility wise. Because they don't look like Glock mags.
Does it have a great trigger on it, or does it use a trigger that I can get aftermarket from someone else? Is it someone else's trigger? Do I need to get aftermarket parts, or is this thing? Because it looks like it comes with all the bells and whistles, but understand the Taurus 1911, when they came out, looked like they came with all the bells and whistles too.
Yeah. I'm curious as to what sights it uses too, if it's cut for Glock sights or M&P sights or something like that.
Right. Yeah. You know, it probably is, but it doesn't.
And whose RMR cuts does it use? Does it have plates? Again,
yeah, it says it comes with a plate system.
Right.
I'm hoping it's more robust than the Glock system, but
exactly. And hey, I wish anybody all the luck, but understand, you live in a world where they come up with new pistols every now and again. You have things like the Hudson H9, all right?
Yes.
You have things like, what's the name of that pistol? Anyway,
Wilson, the EDC9 or whatever it's called, EDC15.
Exactly.
Like that.
We have things at the higher end price point, and
those are a little high. The Hudson's about $2,000, isn't it?
And so's the depends on
what the Wilson
we're talking about.
Yeah.
But I'm going, if I'm going to spend this on a company, would I go with one like the Hudson H9 is totally unique? This one that has all the stuff you add on. I mean, you have choices to make, but understand you're beta testing for a company. You know what I mean? They don't have a history. They don't have a track record. Well, you buy this, and then they have to come up with Gen 2 next year or in a few months, you know, like everything SIG put out the last 2 years. Being first in line for SIG just means you get to meet your FFL again and mail it back.
I'm glad he said it, not me.
No, whatever.
Well, it's really the truth, unfortunately.
It is the truth. It is.
I live in Jersey where they couldn't get 229s right, and the state police gave them back.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm not going to buy anything when it first comes to market. But
why would I ever buy something that first comes to market?
Exactly.
I'm like, Glock had recalls, regardless of Glock perfection.
The original 22s in 40 had some major problems.
Surprise! Oh yeah, and I can't take this company seriously unless they put this gun out. 40 Smith and Wesson. Almost said it all the way. I almost said it without laughing.
Yeah, because at least you can take a High Point seriously because they make a 40 Smith and Wesson.
Hey,
Right.
High Point hasn't had any recalls in the last decade that I know about.
That's because they haven't changed them in 30 years.
Hey, it works. It works. Why change it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, how different is the F-150?
It's just the body panels. Everything else is the same, right?
We put leather seats in it. Wow.
And air conditioning.
But I wish the company best of luck, especially American companies putting out a duty-sized pistol. I don't know who they're going for. I wonder what the measurements are, like for IDPA or something like that. Will it work for that?
What is the slide length on it? So it's 5-inch barrel, but it's a threaded barrel. So
right,
4.5-inch slide.
Do you think it's the Glock 19 size with a little bit of barrel sticking out?
No,
I think it's Glock 17 size, and that's what my question was.
Yeah.
Everyone now is moving towards that full size grip, a little bit shorter slide because they're really starting to aim at the law enforcement market.
But a Glock 17 is what, 4.25 inches?
Right at 4.5, I think.
Right. So even if you got the one without the threaded barrel, you're still looking at a full size gun, basically.
And my other question is this: what holster does it use, or is it close enough to almost everything? Because it also looks a little P2. What is it? P320ish.
I don't think. I think
I can tell you what holster it uses.
Your custom Kydex benders are going to be
Uncle Mike's.
Uncle Mike's. I knew it.
Yeah.
Use Phobos and Uncle Mike.
And Uncle Mike's number 7.
Yeah.
And is it compatible with a Serpa? I really need to know that.
I think
if the pistol catches on, we'll determine whether there's duty holsters for it. Which is kind of chicken or the egg. But I think your custom Kydex benders will jump right on it as soon as it comes out. Why not?
Do.
And I want to put this out there too. And they said it on their website in another spot. It has a reversible.
Yes.
Reversible.
Yes.
Mag release.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
they don't call it ambidextrous.
No, they call it reversible.
They call it reversible. Thank you very much, because I'm tired of that.
But
it's just a marketing thing, but it's like, get it right.
It does have an ambi slider release though.
Yeah,
because there's one on each side. So.
And hopefully it works. I mean, heck, it's already they have better pictures of it than Remington had of their RP9 or whatever you call it. It's already better than them, and it hasn't even come out yet.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Well, I wish them the best of luck. Next up is we have something else with an M in the name. Oh, wait. It's the Maximum Defense M-rax system. I know Zane's going to love this. I'm going to explain this the best I can. They are Picatinny rails that go in M-lock slots. And they're supposed to maximize space, as they say, but we'll leave that stuff out. They have like a spring-loaded interface system so that between the T-nut and the rail, basically, so that you just kind of push it in with the supplied hex key, which I'm suppose it's any hex key that fits, twist it 90 degrees, release the tension, and then tighten it normally. So it does tighten down, it sounds like, but instead of having, I don't know if you've ever messed with M-lock, but sometimes trying to get the little M-nut thing to rotate right and get the right spacing is kind of a pain. And this is supposed to eliminate that kind of thing. Price-wise, they're $42.95 to $89.95, depends on length. And they come in its length. It's basically
3, 4, 6, 7, and 9.
Right.
Basically.
Inches, which is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slots. They weigh 1.5 ounces to 4.6 ounces. They're your standard aluminum hard coat anodized. You can get them in FDE though, as opposed to just black, if that is something you want.
We don't use FDE anymore. That's like 5 years ago.
Hey,
no, FDE is huge with some people still. I don't understand it.
You know, if you just go outside and mix some water with some dirt, you can like put it on there and it looks like FDE.
That's all right. I'm going with Sniper Gray because
I was gonna say they didn't offer it in Submarine Gray. So
no, I personally like the Manatee Gray.
Manatee Gray.
Yeah. Like that. I don't know. I think it might make it a little easier if you take them on and off a lot, but in my case, I can't see using them because I don't need a pick rail. If I do, I'll just put a standard one on.
Isn't the idea of M-lock to make stuff easier to attach and not have to have the weight of the pick rail? Like,
yes, but there are some things that you need a pick rail for, or
and you mount it on the top.
Stop being
Stop being poor.
Stop being poor.
It's a cool idea, but it does not. I just don't. And again, I have not had hands on this, so this is not me saying this, but it doesn't appear to be there's any way that junk ain't flying off your gun when you start running and moving and doing.
No, you can still tighten it down.
Rolls.
No, you can still
tighten it down. Can you though?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what it says.
It says you rotate the little piece at the back 90 degrees and it locks it, and then you screw it down as normal to tighten it.
Yeah. Hey, I believe they might have this set up and they know their product. The price is not going to break you.
No, price is
again, but my issue with it all is why would I buy yours when I can buy another one? It's not like I'm taking things off and on the pick rail unless I'm doing a review on something. I mean, how many times are you actually going to remove and install this?
That all my stuff's Loctited, like with red Loctite.
Yeah, like when it becomes such an issue that I have to buy into actually having a whole easy detached system. I'm like, good to go. And by the way, why in the hairy heck at this point would I need 9 inches of rail?
Yeah, that's.
Well,
what is and why does it look super bulky to me?
By the way, 9 inches of side rail.
Yeah,
it does have some thick.
Doesn't it look
especially on the bottom bulky? One? The bottom one looks thicker like a Snicker.
What was that? What was that company who made the ones with the tabs that pop in and out?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Kinetic something.
Oh, Kinetic. Maybe? Yeah, Kinetic. Yeah, that's.
This thing looks just as thick as those. And
Kinetic Development Group.
Kinetic Development Group. That's who made those. These
because
like,
theirs had the quick attach though.
And the guy doing like pull-ups on them and stuff because that's marketing. I never used those either for the record. But
if I'm going to use something, I know Nathan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know him, so I know his stuff works. If no one's doing a pull-up on it, obviously it doesn't work.
Well, there's that. But no, I feel like if I want something that's quick release, and because we're doing reviews or whatever, I'm going to go get that from Kinetic Development Group because, like you say, I've seen some of the other stuff that Nate's put out, and it all looked like it's pretty. And this looks like it's just as thick. Like it doesn't. I'm not saving any. Now it's light. I'll give you that. I don't know.
Did I say Nate's name right, or did I get it wrong?
I think you got it right. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I know him. I don't know these guys. The stuff might work. It might not. Again, 9 inches of rail is a lot. Now, I'm not saying anything's wrong with any of that. I'm just going.
I mean, I guess if you got a PEC and a and you're mounting on the side for some reason, and your light on the side, and your tape switches, and your backup iron sights from the side. Like,
as you're saying it, you start to realize, that ain't
how
happening.
Ridiculous that is.
And your bayonet, and your wait a minute, what was that now?
And your backup light, because
I thought the 9-inch rail was to go on the bottom so you could mount your chainsaw on it.
Did you say backup light?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
2 is 1 and 1 is none, right?
Oh, I thought you meant like throwing it in reverse. Because you have enough rail to do that too.
Yeah.
Not today, Isis.
Oh, and you got to mount a GoPro to it for Instagram.
Definitely
I thought you put that on your hat.
No, you got to put one on your helmet to face out,
right.
and then the one on the rifle faces you.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, you got to have that. But listen, best of luck to them. They make a bunch of accessories. I was checking their stuff out, and maybe there's a cause for it, a market for it, and that's cool too. I just don't put a lot of stuff on my rifle. I have a flashlight. I don't have the laser thing. I don't have a lot of other stuff. I have a flashlight and an optic. I don't even do backup sights.
Both of those in my case mount on the top rail. So.
Yep. Right. And I guess if you don't have a top rail, maybe.
The price, like you say, the price isn't bad, so it's not going to break the bank if you want to try it. I mean, it's not like it doesn't look like a bad product. I think it's a decent product. I just think that maybe it's too late.
I think they came out. Yeah. They came out.
That's exactly it. They're a few years too late.
They came out as we started going towards lighter weight ARs, and everybody's not slapping stuff all over the ARs. So yeah, it kind of missed that wave, but it might catch the second one. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? Plus, there's also the thing for Manicore arms. They have different kinds of rails that fits into slots.
I have one of those rails.
Yeah,
it's pretty neat. The transformer rail.
Transformer rail, yeah. So I mean, there's other products already out there, and
that thing is stupid light.
And more mature designs.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I guess. Or maybe we won't. Who knows?
And Sven over at Manicore is just a genius when it comes to coming up with just new stuff.
Yeah.
They do.
Good peoples over there.
Yeah, I hung out with them at NRA in Atlanta. Actually, with them and the guys from We Like Shooting, because, everyone's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. Well, next up, I put this in here because I saw it and it's pretty cool. I think Tony's seen one too. I put in the Crudo Knives Revolute folder. It's a pocket knife basically. MSRP is $165, which for the quality you get is not a bad deal, at least from what I saw. Let's see some specs here. This is your standard, pretty much pocket folder, liner lock style, I think. I will get to that. See what it says. It has a 3/16 thick blade blade length is 3.45 inches. The steel is 9 CR18 MOV, which means not much to me. It's chrome, moly, vanadium, and the numbers are something.
One of the best sites to look it up for is go to Browning, their site, and go to their black label where they have their knives at, and they break down pretty much every steel. Cold Steel does it too, I know, in their magazines, but they might have it on their site so you can find out exactly what this is.
It's a steel you can harden. That's basically what I know. It does have a black sculpted frame with a tread plate on top of it. And here it's 8.1 inches open. It only weighs 7 ounces. It does have ceramic ball bearings. It has a thumb wedge and a glass breaker. Okay, what this is their... It's pretty much standard. It's got a thumb stud. You can open it. But these things are super smooth. I mean, you can basically just hold the knife up and just barely move the blade and then just kind of like rotate it around, and the blade will just kind of slide out.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go ahead and give full disclosure. Crudo Knives has donated to the Second is for Everyone Diversity Shoot. They're also our sponsor of the Second is for Everyone podcast. I know them. Lewis is awesome. He's a martial artist. that came to this country and started designing knives and martial arts implements and knuckle busters and all kinds of other things. And has some really cool neck knives, but he has his stuff made overseas. He draws up the designs. He has it made in China, and then when they come in, he refines them, checks them out. Anything that sucks gets ditched, and then he pretty much hand sharpens them and makes sure they're smooth. And that ceramic ball bearing washer pretty much makes your knife leap open. And he has an awesome thumb stud on it. That's even like right now. I have this one, which is the Chronos that they gave us, or Krona that they gave us, and it's awesome. But it's an $85 knife. This knife here is $165, and pretty much a semi-custom at this point. It's made in the factory, and then he hand hones it and makes sure it works. He has a whole martial arts system he has for some of his knives, but he makes sure that they're like high quality, good steel, and just well made. And that's something you won't get at that price point. You know what I mean? From an actual manufacturer. This guy designs the knives. Browning actually bought a bunch of his knives and made them as the mainstay of their Black Label knife series. Like at least 3 of those are Crudo knives that they bought the design. He designed for them, and they bought the design. So he's around and he's legit. But this is buying directly from them. They just moved from Florida to Arizona, and this is, I think, one of the first products put out by them from that location.
And I will say, having handled this knife, the tread pattern is awesome. You get such a good grip on that. I mean, they may say tread because it's kind of cross hatches and it's raised, but it's aluminum, not like rubber or plastic or something. And you can grip that thing like you would not believe. And I should mention it does have a reversible from one side to the other belt clip. Like we said, it has that thumb stud, but it also has, I don't know what they call it, and it probably says somewhere in their information, but if you don't want to use the thumb stud, there's like a little piece that sticks out in front of the knife, and you can flick it with your thumb or your forefinger or basically whatever you want.
Like the knife I have here doesn't have that ceramic. So, I mean, it takes barely any effort for it to flip open. This thing is crazy cool. And they're thick beater knives. I mean, it's not going anywhere, man. This is a tool if you want to have it be a tool, and it still looks good.
Yep. I mean, it was kind of one of those things. I'm like, which ones are new? When I was there talking to them, and they're like, this is one of the newer ones. And so I was like, yeah, I'll throw it in the show notes. It's kind of cool. I mean, who doesn't like a quality knife that you can pretty much try to destroy and not destroy it? And
I haven't broken it yet.
they sponsor Tony, I think they'd probably send something out for review if I ask them, but I was just in awe kind of at the prices for what you're getting. I really liked their stuff.
I didn't know anything about them. At the beginning of the year, Sean introduced me to them at the Great American Outdoor Show in Harrisburg,
which they're not going to this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's across the country now.
Yeah, I think that might be why. Plus, they said it's 2 weeks or whatever it is.
Dude, it's 9 days of show. I went there and stayed, and I was tired of being there. But dude, they're decent people. They make a really good knife. Now, again, it's designed in America. It's made overseas, and then he goes over it again. So it's not like you're ever going to get a piece of garbage. He went over it while I was there. When he donated the knives to us, he popped them open and went through every one of them. And then he flipped the box open, signed the box, and then gave us 3 books and signed the books too on the page in the Knife Digest that he's featured in. So it's not a nobody. He's in Knife Digest.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And so I figured I'd throw it in here. Who knows? We might throw some other knives in here that I saw from other people, but their stuff, I was impressed. I knew you always talked them up. And when I actually saw their stuff, I was like, okay, I see why.
Yeah, I have people that sponsored us or send us stuff that you'll never hear about because it sucks. So if I'm talking about them, it actually works.
And like
Yeah,
you said, you haven't broken yours yet.
and that says a lot because I've broken everything. That's what I'm good at. So, and if you want some, just to let you guys know, Sean also is a crudo knife. He carries crudo knives.
So go there, buy a bunch of them, use the 2A4E code, and donate them to Tony.
Okay.
When you win the lottery tonight, whatever that is.
Oh, I'm gonna win that, guys. So don't even worry about it.
Can you buy me a minigun?
Let me explain what happens if Tony wins the $1 billion, $1.6 billion lottery. Mike Bloomberg better watch his butt. I'm just saying, there's going to be pro-gun grassroots in every state that's getting a whole lot of funds.
That's right. Okay. Well, a lot of our listener feedback is kind of stuck in with the questions, but our buddy Cody sent us some listener feedback about last week's show.
Sean's #1 fan.
Which I thought was kind of funny, just because it's not, I don't know if it's really feedback or what it is, but I guess I'll attempt to read it. It says, on Tuesday, October 16th, the opening minutes of the show was great. That is till the world ended. YouTube has failed, and now I live in a dystopian world, armed only with my Smith & Wesson 39-2 and my MPX for comfort. I will continue forth with the knowledge that I have gained from the podcast to fight the good fight. Unfortunately, I can feel the claws of grip zones and TAC 14s at my heart. To whom will I turn? Where are our heroes? And how will I ever know if Zane stops using light recoil loads? Who will tell us when the next diversity shoot is? Will Rob ever have a voice for print again? Will Chad ever wrangle cats again? For now, a farewell, my friends. May your podcast rest in the depths of the interwebs. As awesome as it was, I am sad to see it go.
It's very funny.
I read that
good.
when he sent it to me. I'm like, oh yeah, this feedback's going in there because that
it should have been read
funny.
in like a Don LaFontaine voice, though. It would have made it awesome.
Well,
hold on.
I don't do voices.
It'd be like
on Tuesday.
The world has ended.
Yes, that's
the world
exactly.
has ended. YouTube has failed. One man lives in a dystopian world, armed only with a Smith & Wesson 39-2. Something. It'd have been interesting.
Yeah, well, next time
What's
I'll
that
just
Smith & Wesson 39-2? Is that?
I don't even know what it is.
I'm like, hold on a second. I got my.
You got your decoder ring?
That's what I'm like. I need my Smith & Wesson decoder ring.
You know what? But I'm angry because it's not chambered in 39-2 caliber.
Ooh.
Let them read it on CNN, and it will be, and it's AR-15.
No, it'll be a 392 caliber.
Oh, cool! It's the old school Smith & Wesson 9mm.
Oh, okay.
Is it one of those? Is it one of those DASAs?
Looks to be one. Yeah. Sweet.
Oh,
this thing's hot, bro.
I got you.
I ain't mad at you.
Cool.
Well, he's got an MPX. I'm not mad at him.
At least he has one gun that works.
Yeah, the 39-2.
Yeah, the 39-2. 8 rounds of 9mm. Why you try to get that MPX up and running? And I could take it seriously because it comes in 40 cal too.
Oh,
yeah.
Problem solver. Problem solver.
I'm not really keen on those old ones, but I actually might go so far as to say a high point looks better.
Yeah.
I like the looks. I like the looks of the old school Smith.
Speak English.
Yeah, right. They're autoloaders, but I've never shot one. The oldest Smith I've ever shot was a Sigma.
Hey, do you like the trigger on a Beretta 92?
No.
Well, welcome to the Smith & Wesson semi-autos, baby.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Hey, Tony.
Wasn't impressed. What's up?
You know what time it is?
Do you know what time it is? Is it diversity shoot time?
Let's talk about diversity shoot time.
Okay, cool. Because diversity shoot time is December 6th at 6 p.m. at Gun for Hire Range in Woodland Park. Be there or be square. Tickets are for sale on Eventbrite. What do? We have a bunch of awesome gun owners come down and introduce new shooters to firearms. We also have some paperwork out there. So if you want to start your pistol purchase permit process in New Jersey, we can do this. We can get you your firearms ID card and get you started along that path. We're also going to introduce you to Second Amendment groups. We're going to introduce you to women's groups. We're going to introduce you to gun owners of all shapes, sizes, races, creeds, sexual orientations, and everything else. It's just a good place where good people meet at an awesome range. And we do that every couple of months. And again, December 6th, that's when the next one's going to be. You can follow us on Instagram at Simon Says Train. That's my page. It was my page before the diversity shoot, and I haven't changed the name because I put a lot of time into it. The second is for everyone Facebook page. You can go there too. You can go to diversityshoot.com and check out our schedule. And you can also donate to our GoFundMe. It's the second is for everyone on GoFundMe. And you can help us out on Patreon with the Second is for Everyone podcast, which is a great podcast. And it's a lot of fun to do every week. And it's been growing every week. And we're going to have prizes. We already have prizes, but we even have more prizes. So the Patreon is the Second is for Everyone also. So thank you for letting me put this out. Make sure you guys go vote Pro 2A. Do some research and check it out who to vote for. One place to start is the NRA ILA's website, or even do that app. I'm on the app, and you can see how your representatives that are running have been graded by the NRA, but take that with a grain of salt. Find out who's running, how they've been graded, and then look into it from there. Don't let that be your only stop. Because we had a dirtbag Democrat here that was, I think, B rated, and
he was A rated.
Yeah, and it just no. So
yeah,
use that as a starting point to at least know who to look for. When you use the app, it'll take you to the page. You put in your address and your zip code, and it will pull up who's running on the ballot this time around, and then you can look into them. So be an educated voter. Vote Pro 2A.
Woohoo! Great job.
Or
Tony.
vote, or just vote third party. Just do like I do.
Oh, and by the way, I'm not telling you what party to vote for because that doesn't give you a buy in my book.
Nope, because remember Florida, who passed the last round of gun control?
Yeah,
that was
I'm a Pro 2A advocate, and I don't sell my soul to any political party. And as far as I go, the only advices I give is you shouldn't either.
That's right. And since it's not, depending on your state, it's no longer primaries, so everybody can vote if you're registered.
Get out there. Do it.
Okay, wrap up. Send questions, comments, or feedback to gungearreview@gmail.com or cool kind of stories like Cody sent us. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review if you would like. Helps us in the standings. Check out all the other shows of the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews and industry coverage. Check us out on Facebook at /Firearms Insider and follow us at Firearms Insider on Instagram. And thank you for listening to the largest pound for pound podcast on the network. And we are out.
Bye, Felicia.